And we're back. And with us live in the studio this morning is Mark McBrayer, running for 99th District Court. This is the political season, of course.
It
Good morning,
is.
Mark.
Thank you. Good morning to you. It's a great morning. A little bit cool, but it's a great day.
Hey, it's February.
It is. It's Lubbock.
That happens. So what prompted you to run for the 99th District Court job?
Well, of course, it's been served for the past 15 years by Bill Sauter, who's been a great judge in that position. I've been in front of him many times. I really have a lot of respect for him. But it's when something like this comes up, I've been an attorney now for 17 years. Had my own small business, J&B Coffee Company, for years before that, and other businesses for about 17 years. And you come to a point in your life where you have done a number of things that you feel like prepare you for a different stage in your life, a time where you can serve your community in ways that maybe you weren't able to do so when you were raising your family, running a business, going to school and things like that. And so I feel like the experiences that I've gained as a small business owner, as an attorney now with a great law firm, Crenshaw, Dupree and Milam, for 17 years. I clerked for a federal judge, Sam Cummings, a great model of a conservative judge. Learned a lot, watched him, and felt like this is something that I had the right temperament, the right ability, the right legal experience to undertake, and I was ready to do it.
So explain the 99th District Court. How does that work?
Well, Lubbock has 6 district courts, and all are cases that I've handled before, but that's not primarily my area of experience. So it was something I felt like I was very qualified for.
Well, so what's your background? Are you a Lubbockite?
I actually was born in Abilene, but we moved here when I was 4, so I consider myself a Lubbockite.
Yeah.
I've lived here more than 60 years now, so I've not met too many people who've lived here much longer than me. Grew up here in Lubbock. I was just talking before we went on the air about grew up near J&B Coffee Company, which I owned. Went to Roscoe Wilson. Still live in that neighborhood. Love that neighborhood. Love Lubbock. Lubbock has been a great place to raise a family. My kids live here. My grandkids live here. And so it's my home.
So you've, as a lawyer, you've worked with the Lubbock courts. Do you think that right now, just because they would, this is something potentially being looked at, with the backlog of people in the jail holding more than they expect it to hold and whatnot, do you think that we need another district court here in the
Lubbock has gotten
area
to be the size that we could use another district court, and I think that will probably happen sometime in the near future, just because of the growth in the county, and of course that has to be determined by our legislature. They have to decide to open up a new court, but I think that will happen. And but this court, again, it does not handle primarily the criminal cases. Right. They can be handled there, and some are. But yes, either a new magistrate judge to handle some of those cases or a new district court would be a great thing to happen for Lubbock County, and it should happen.
Okay.
So are you a graduate of Texas Tech Law School?
I'm a graduate of Texas Tech, undergraduate in political science and minor in Spanish. But I'm a graduate of Tech Law School, went to law school later in my life. It's a great experience. I graduated from there in the top 10% of my class, and which was something to do when you were raising a family and running a business and everything, to still do that. And then, like I said, right out of law school, I went to clerk for Judge Sam Cummings, our federal judge here, which was a great experience for me as well. I watched him. He's known for being very efficient in handling cases, moving them through what's affectionately known as the rocket docket attorneys here. Things move quickly through his court. You get a decision. He's a great conservative judge. He's known across the nation and highly respected as a great conservative judge who applies the Constitution as written.
Do you consider yourself a conservative judge?
I would be a conservative judge. I am a conservative person. Anyone who knows me and has known me all my life knows that is who I am and what I am, and no doubt about it. And so that comes through. I mean, you have a personality that you've developed. You have a philosophy of life you've developed from when you've been younger, and that will come through when you sit on a bench.
Yeah.
So the judge that's in the 99th right now, is it
Judge Sauter.
Sauter, yeah. Judge Sauter, there hasn't really been much in the way of complaints. Do you think there's anything that needs to change from the way the court's being run right now?
No, Judge Sauter has run a very good court, and he's a very thoughtful person, very thoughtful judge, listens well, rules quickly, and gives you good decisions. And he also operates, and other courts that help particular citizens. We have specialty courts here that help citizens who have drug problems, who are military veterans, to deal with the special needs that they have. And he's been very involved in those courts as well. And I would certainly maintain his practice of having these specialty courts as well to hear these special matters, people with particular problems that the court system can deal with effectively. But he's been a great model. He deserves his retirement. And
So you wouldn't foresee making a lot of great changes then in the court?
no, Lubbock has a history of having great conservative judges, and my goal is to continue that tradition here in Lubbock County. I think a lot of people feel that we maybe need to work a little bit harder at efficiency in our system to move cases forward a little bit quicker. I would work hard at that. Again, that was my experience. That was what I learned under Judge Cummings. And so that might be one thing that we could do here in Lubbock County. There's been talk about trying to turn this court into a family law court, but I've not talked to any attorneys who want that to happen, and I wouldn't be in favor of that. But anything that this court can do to help relieve docket crowding in any other courts is something I'm prepared to do.
Well, how many cases actually go through the 99th court?
Well,
any idea?
It's amazing that people think you have trials all the time. You don't really have that many trials in courts. You have a lot of cases filed in a court, and cases get disposed of in many different ways. Nowadays, a lot of cases settle before they ever get.
Especially in civil, right?
In civil court is quite common to have cases settled before they come to trial. A trial can be a very long and onerous process on people. But the other thing is the courts can dispose of cases through what we call a summary judgment motion. If there's really not a dispute for a jury to decide, a fact dispute for a jury to decide, the judge can decide based on a set of undisputed facts. Everybody agrees this is what happened. The judge knows what the law is. He applies the law to that set of known facts, and he can rule without going to a jury. And that's another way to move cases forward. Litigation is very hard on the parties. It's very time-consuming. It's very expensive. That's why it's important to move cases through. But it's not a problem of how many cases. It's how effectively the judge deals with those cases and holds the lawyers to a schedule so that everybody is moving the case forward to a final decision one way or another, or a settlement if that's the case.
Yeah.
Well, Mark McBrayer, running for 99th District Court Judge. Good to have you out this morning, and good to hear your thoughts, and best of luck.
Well, thank you. I've been working really hard. I had a lady come up to me last night at the basketball game and said she had changed her vote for me, and I asked her why. I knew she was voting for one of my opponents. Her husband was voting for me, and it was a split family, one of those deals. She said, well, I've changed my vote. I'm going to vote for you. I said, why? She says, you worked harder than anybody else. I've lost about 10 pounds since this election started, walked more than I think anybody else has walked, and I want the voters of Lubbock to trust me, to know me, because I consider it a real honor to have their vote.
Yeah. All right. Well, best of luck.
Thank you very much, both of you guys.